Hi students, welcome to Diamond Group of Institutions, NEET and KCET online classes. So today we are going to discuss about the current electricity. So the first question in the current electricity is the VI graph for a conductor at temperatures T1 and T2 are shown. Then T2 minus T1 is proportional to. Okay, now this is the graph they given. So either T1, this curve is T1 and this one is the T2. And T1 curve is making theta angle with the x-axis and T2 is making theta angle with the y-axis. Okay, so now these are the options. So one thing you have to remember, so now we have the graph is Vi, slope of this graph is nothing but V by I. V by I is nothing but the resistance. Okay, the slope will give the resistance. And the next here they mention conductors. For conductors, resistance is directly proportional to the temperature. Resistance is directly proportional to the temperature. That means if temperature increases, resistance of the conductor also increases. You know from that theory. Okay, and next see, from this resistance is directly proportional to temperature. That means this slope of this graph will give the resistance. Resistance is directly proportional to the temperature. That means slope is directly proportional to the temperature. Okay, if slope is more, temperature is more and resistance also more. If slope is less, resistance less, okay, and temperature also less. That means from this we can say that T2 is greater than the T1 and the resistance for this graph is more than the resistance of this one. We can say easily. And next here, slope of this first graph, okay, it is making the theta angle. So tan theta is directly proportional to the temperature T1. And the slope of this second graph, they given the y-axis theta here, this total angle is 90 now. With respect to the x-axis we have to measure the angle, slope we are finding now. So now this is the theta, total is 90 minus theta, this one. So tan 90 minus theta is directly proportional to the temperature. Okay, slope is nothing but resistance is directly proportional to temperature. That means slope is directly proportional to the temperature. So slope is, first graph ka slope is tan theta is proportional to temperature T1. Second graph ka slope is tan 90 minus theta directly proportional to the T2. So tan 90 minus theta is nothing but cot theta. Cot theta is directly proportional to the T2. Okay, we got this one. And the next they are asking the T2 minus T1 is proportional to the, so T2 minus T1. T2 how much we got? Cot theta. T1 how much? Tan theta. So cot theta minus tan theta. Simplify this one. Cot theta is nothing but cos theta by sin theta. Tan theta is nothing but sin theta by cos theta. And do the LCM, we will get cos square theta minus sin square theta by sin theta cos theta. Multiply and divided by the 2. Cos square theta minus sin square theta is nothing but the cos 2 theta. 2 sin theta cos theta is nothing but the sin 2 theta. Here we will get the cos 2 theta by sin theta is 2 cot theta. So they are asking the proportional. T2 minus T1 is proportional to the. So T2 minus T1 is directly proportional to the cot 2 theta. Option C is the right answer, cot 2 theta. And next see, this is the important question. Okay, now I will give the direct formula. Okay, based on that formula you can solve problem very easily. So an infinite sequence of a resistance is shown in the figure. The resultant resistance between A and B. A and B may resultant resistance we have to find. Then they given the R1 value and the R2 value. R1 is a 1 ohm and R2 is a 2 ohm. So general, suppose sometimes they may give the this circuit, here also they will give the resistance, and that's why general expression I am going to give you. Suppose this is the circuit now. Here R1, here R2, R3, R1, R2, R3, R1, R2, R3, R1, R2, R3, like this repeated so many times, infinity sequence. So then if they given the ladder like this, then the formula is the equivalent distance between the A and B equal to the formula is R1 plus R3 by 2 into 1 plus square root of 1 plus 4R2 by R1 plus R3. Remember this formula, then you can solve very easily. And remember, this is the R1 and this is the R2 and this is the R3. Okay, don't change this notation also. R3 here, R2 here somewhere, don't write. This sequence only. R1 here, R2 here, R3 here, then this formula is here. So from the given question, R1 given 1 ohm, so R1 is 1 ohm, R2 this one only 2 ohm they given, R3 not given here, so then consider 0 ohms. Okay, then substitute in the formula, RAB equal to the resistance between these two. Okay, so R1 plus R3, R1 is the 1, R3 is the 0 by 2 into 1 plus and square root of 1 plus 4 into R2 value they given 2 ohms by R1 plus R3, 1 plus 0 equal to So simplify it. 1 plus 0 by 2 means 1 by 2. 1 by 2 square root of 1 plus, here 1 plus 4 into 2 8. 8 by 1 plus 0 means 1 only. 8 by 1 8. 1 plus 8 9. Square root of 9 3. So 1 plus 3. So we will get 4 by 2. So then the equivalent resistance is nothing but 2 ohms. The resistance between A and B is nothing but the 2 ohms. You can, if you remember this formula, you can solve the problem very easily. Okay, next see the next question. The resistance of a wire at 20 degrees centigrade is 20 ohm and at 500 degrees centigrade is 60 ohm. At which temperature resistance will be? At which temperature resistance will be 25 ohms? Okay, now we have to find this one. Suppose if we draw the graph between the resistor and the temperature, initially it has some, at 0 degree it has some resistance R naught. Then if we draw the graph, so it is nothing but the linearly increasing. That means if the temperature increases, resistance also increases in the conductors. Already we saw in the first question. So then the slope equal to this, the slope of this graph tan theta equal to the change in the resistance by the change in the temperature. We will get the constant. That is nothing but constant. Del R by del theta equal to the constant. Okay, so we can do this problem very easily. See now, here I am taking the temperature, here I am taking the resistance value. At 0 degree centigrade, we have the resistance, some resistance R naught. And from the question, at 20 degree centigrade the resistance is the 20 ohm. At 20 degree centigrade the resistance is the 20 ohm. And next at 500 degree centigrade 60 ohm. At what temperature? Temperature is 25 ohm. That means at 25 ohm resistance, so the temperature is something T I am assuming. And at 500 degree centigrade they given the resistance is the 60 ohm. This is the given data. And from this slope equal to del R by del theta equal to constant. That means here the difference between, if we consider, we can compare any two. That means we can compare these two. That means resistance by temperature. Or we can compare these two, resistance by temperature. We will get the value is a constant. So now I am comparing this first these two. So 25 minus 20. Del R means final minus initial. 25 minus 20, 5 ohm. But temperature also T minus 20. We can compare these two also, but we have to find the temperature only. Here we got already one time in temperature. Then known values we can take. I am comparing this. Means del R means final minus initial. 60 minus 20, 40. Del T, 500 minus 20, 480. So then 5 by T minus 20 equal to, simplify this, we will get the 1 by 12. Do the cross multiplication. T minus 20 equal to 60. T equal to 80 degree centigrade. So this is the very easy. You can do this problem very easily. Remember the procedure. Next question is fourth question. In the circuit shown in figure, reading of voltmeter is V1 when only S1 is closed. Reading of voltmeter is V2 when S2 is closed. The reading of voltmeter is V3 when both S1 and S2 are closed. Then options are given. This is the circuit diagram. Once see the circuit diagram. So here supply resistance R, here 3R, 4R. If S1 is closed, only S1 is closed, current will flow through the 3R only. Only S2 is closed, current will flow through the 6R only. If both closed, then current will be flow through the 3R and 6R. Okay. So according to this one, I am going to do first case. See now, only S1 is closed. Only S1 is closed means S2 is open. Okay. If S2 is open, so remove this branch. Only this branch only there. So in first case, only S1 is closed and this voltmeter is showing the reading V1. Okay, so I am redrawing the diagram. See now, first case may resistor. So only S1 is closed now. So S2 is open. I am removing this branch. I am rearranging this one. 3R is short circuited. Okay now. So voltmeter connected across the 3R only. So now the reading, whenever the S1 is, only S1 is closed, the reading of the voltmeter is V1. Now find the V1. V1 equal to the, from the voltage divide rule. That means if the resistors are in the series, then voltage will be divided by that resistors components, and we use the voltage divider rule. If resistors are parallel, then we use the current divide rule. Okay, now here apply the voltage division rule. So voltage across this one, this resistance by total resistance. Okay, this resistance is how much? 3R by total resistance. These two are in the series, R plus 3R, 4R. So 3R by 4R into supply voltage E. So from this we will get the 3E by 4. Voltage is directly proportional to R. V equal to IR. V is directly proportional to R. Why? Because current is same flowing through this one. So from that we are saying, so from voltage division rule, so voltage across this one equal to the resistance of this one by total resistance into supply. So this resistance is 3R by total resistance is R plus 3R 4R into supply. Then we will get the 3 by 4 E. And next see the second case में only S2 is closed. The reading of the voltmeter is V2, only S2 is closed. That means here S2 is closed, S1 is open. So now this branch I am removing. So remaining I am drawing. So 6 are only there. This is the short circuit. This I am connecting. Okay. So now I am removing this branch I am drawing. So now we have to find the potential across this 6 are resistance only. So voltage division rule, okay na. So voltage across this one is this resistance 6R by total resistance. These two are in the series, R plus 6R 7R, 7R into supply into E. So we will get 6 by 7 E, 6 by 7 E here, 6 by 7 E. Next come to see the reading of voltmeter is V3 when both the switches are closed. Now S1 is closed, S2 is closed, then this voltmeter is showing the reading V3. Okay, now I redraw the diagram here. See now, R is here 3R, here 6R, voltmeter reading we have to measure here. So first these two are in the parallel combination. So find out the equivalent resistance of these two parallel resistors. So parallel combination of this one by 3R plus 1 by 6R, we will get the 1 by 2R. Then equivalent resistance of these two equal to the 2R. So R is here. Equivalent resistance of this two parallel combination is 2R. So voltage across that one we have to find. So voltage across that one is nothing but voltage of this one by total resistance, voltage of this one we have to find. Resistance here 2R by total resistance R plus 2R 3R into supply E. So we will get the 2 by 3 E. So V1 is 3 by 4, V2 is 6 by 7 E, V3 is 2 by 3 E. So which value is more? 3 by 4 E means we will get almost 0.75 E. 6 by 7 means we will get the 0.85 E. Okay, and the next 2 by 3 E means 0.66 E. So which is more and which is the less? So V2 is a 0.85 more, and the next V1 and the next V3. So V2 is greater than V1 is greater than V3. So V2 is greater. A option is the right answer. Now come to see the fifth question. 3 electric bulbs with the same voltage rating. Voltage rating is same here they given, same voltage rating of 110 volts, but wattage is nothing but the power rating only. 40, 60 and 100 watts are connected in series across the 220 volt supply. If their brightness are B1, B2, B3 respectively, then okay. So this is the question. I am drawing diagram. See now, 3 bulbs are connected in the series, okay, and the voltage rating is a common same 110 volt, 110 volt, 110 volt, and the next wattage rating also given, power rating. First one is a 40 watt, second one is a 60 watt, third one is a 100 watt. Okay, these 3 are connected series, and voltage supply to this one is nothing but the E, that is nothing but the 220 volt line we are supplying. Okay, so here see now to find out the resistance rating. Okay, resistance rating of the, that means what is the resistance offered by this bulb, what is the resistance offered by this one, what is the resistance offered by this one, we have to find by using the formula. The resistance equal to the V square rating by P rating. That means we have the formula P equal to the V square by R. Here we know the power and voltage, we have to find the resistance. So from that R equal to the V square by P. Here V is nothing but the rating voltage, P is nothing but the rating power. Okay, so now here they mention already same voltage rating they given, same voltage rating now. So this voltage rating is same, so constant. Then relationship between the R and P is the R is inversely proportional to the power rating. Okay, R is inversely proportional to the power rating. So remember this one. Okay, next come to see the other. So if bulbs are connected in series and if bulbs are connected in the parallel, what we have to remember? So if bulbs are connected in the series, the current flowing through all the bulbs is the same. So write down the power formula in terms of the current. So power equal to the I square by R. How much power dissipated by the bulb? To find that one, power dissipated equal to I square into R. Okay, suppose this bulb you want power dissipation. So I is a common, I square into R1. Suppose this one I square into R2, this one I square into R3, like this. Now here same current is flowing through in series current will flow through the 3 valves is same. Okay, so I is a constant. So power dissipation is directly proportional to the resistance. Power dissipation is directly proportional to the resistance. From this we got resistance is directly proportional to the power rating. Okay, so here power dissipation is directly proportional to the resistance and the resistance is inversely proportional to the power rating. So I am writing here resistance is inversely proportional to the power rating. From this power dissipation is inversely proportional to the power rating, which is dissipating more power that will glow brightly. Okay, na? And that means which has the more rating that will dissipate the less power, that will the brightness of that bulb is less. Okay, remember, suppose if the bulbs are connected in the parallel connection, in the parallel connection voltage is constant, same. Okay, so in terms of the voltage we have to write down the formula P equal to V square by R. So power dissipation equal to V square by R. So in this parallel all bulbs will get the same voltage. Okay, then V is the constant here. The relationship is P is directly inversely proportional to the R. So power dissipation is inversely proportional to the R, and from here we got R is inversely proportional to the power rating. So here I am writing 1 by R is directly proportional to the power rating. From this power dissipation is directly proportional to the power rating. These two formulas applicable when the voltage supply voltage rating is constant, same. If voltage rating is same, then only these formulas will be applicable. Okay, now according to our question they given series. So in series power dissipation is directly proportional to the power rating. So in parallel power dissipation is directly proportional to the power rating. Now come to see our question series. So power dissipation is inversely proportional to the power rating. Which has the more power rating that will glow less, which has the less power rating that will bright more. So more rating, less dissipation, less rating, more dissipation, more dissipation, more brightness, less dissipation, less brightness. Remember that one. So now if rating is less, dissipation is more, that will glow more. So rating of the first bulb is less, dissipation is more, brightness is more. And the next this one, and the next this one. So first bulb have the less power rating, so it will dissipate more power and bright more. And the next less power is the second bulb, so rating is the second bulb, and power dissipation is somewhat more here, it will glow bright but less than the first bulb. And B3 has the more power rating, less dissipation, less brightness. From this we can say that it is first bulb is dissipating more power, second bulb is somewhat less dissipating, third bulb is dissipating somewhat less. Okay, from this we can say first bulb is brightness is more, second compare with the second bulb brightness is more compare with the third one. Like this you have to do the problem. See the next concept, Wheatstone bridge concept. Okay, Wheatstone bridge. Already you know about the Wheatstone bridge. In Wheatstone bridge we have the 4 resistors, 5 resistors also. That means R1, R2, R3, R4. Here we are connecting the R5. So here only we will connect the galvanometer also. Okay, see now. We first this Wheatstone bridge is balanced or unbalanced. To check that one, we have to find the ratio of the resistances. The ratio of R1 to R2. And the ratio of R3 to R4. So R1 to R2, R1 by R2 equal to R3 by R4. If we get the ratio of these two resistors is equal to ratio of these two resistors, then Wheatstone bridge is the balanced. Then the current flowing through this resistor equal to the 0. Then we can remove this branch. Okay, that is for the balanced Wheatstone bridge. If we remove this one, then these two will be series and these two will be series. Add up these two, and combination will become parallel. You know already how to do that one. Unbalanced condition. Unbalanced condition means, see now here R1 by R2, R3 by R4 we have to find. If we get the equal, then that is a balanced Wheatstone bridge. If it is not equal, so we are not getting the equal, the ratios are not equal now, that unbalanced Wheatstone bridge. Okay, unbalanced. And the next, that time what they will ask in the exam, they may ask if unbalanced Wheatstone bridge they will give, and what is the direction of the current from P to Q na, Q to P na. That we have to find the direction they may ask. That time what we have to do means, we found the ratio, it is not equal, and which ratio is more, that also we have to find. Suppose R1 by R2 ratio is more than the R3 by R4. R1 by R2 ratio is more than the R3 by R4. Okay, if this ratio is more, the potential between this here, this is there na potential, and between this one potential is there na. If this ratio is more, the potential at this point is less. This ratio is less, this potential is more. Mean this ratio is less, this potential is more. This ratio is more, the potential is less. Okay, remember. So R1 by R2 ratio is greater than the R3 by R4 means the potential at the P is less than the potential at the Q. That means this is at the low potential, this is at the high potential. Then current will move from the high potential to the low potential. The current direction is from the Q to P. Okay, the current direction is from the Q to P. Suppose if we get R3 by R4 ratio is greater than the R1 by R2. R3 by R4 ratio is greater than the R1 by R2. So R3 by R4 ratio is greater, then potential is small. R1 by R2 is greater, then potential is more here. So this Vp is greater than the Vq. The potential at the P is greater than the potential at the Q. This is at the high potential, this is at the low potential. So current will flow from the high potential to the low potential. That means P to Q. So here P to Q. Like this you have to remember. In theory you may get from this also. The next one question is given like this: 2 amperes current entering here, 4 ohm, 16 ohm, 16 ohm, 4 ohm. So they are asking find the reading of voltmeter. So potential difference across this we have to find. Voltmeter ka reading we have to find. Okay, to find that one, suppose if they ask potential difference between this voltmeter connected, voltmeter offers some resistance, so potential difference is there, something potential difference is there. What is that potential difference we have to find? To find the potential difference, first step is we have to remove this voltmeter. Okay, I remove the voltmeter. So if I remove the voltmeter, then 4 ohm 16 ohm are series and 16 ohm 4 ohm are in the series. Okay, so now actually this is not balanced Wheatstone bridge. 4 by 16 means 1 by 4. 16 by 4 means 4. Ratio is not equal. Unbalanced Wheatstone bridge. That's why I am following this one. So first what we have to do? Remove this branch. So 4 ohm 16 ohm. Here also 16 ohm 4. So this branch ka resistance is 4 plus 16 20 ohm. This branch ka resistance 16 plus 4 20 ohm. That means both have the same resistance. Both branches mein same resistance is there. 2 amperes current is entering now, so both have the same resistance. Both will divide the current into the two equal parts. 1 ampere will flow through this one, 1 ampere will flow through this one. Okay, they are asking the potential the reading of the voltmeter, this they are asking. That means potential difference between this A point and potential difference between this B point. What is the potential difference between these two we have to find. So now I am using this method. Kirchhoff voltage law I am using. So A to B, in this way I am following. So voltage VA minus VB equal to how much we have to find. What is the potential difference between these 2 points I have to find. Now I am going in this direction, but current in this resistance is going in this direction. Whatever the direction I consider, that is opposite to this one, then keep the minus. Voltage is current into resistance, 1 into 4 minus 4. Now I am going in this direction. In this resistor also current is going in the same direction. So current is 1 ampere, resistance is 16 into 1 16. So plus, same direction plus. Here opposite direction minus 4 plus 16 12. The potential difference across AB is nothing but the 12 volts. C is the right option. Do like this. And next question is the current in the wire connected between the A and B. Here current is connected. In the previous question voltmeter is connected. Voltmeter offering the some resistance. Okay, here wire is there. Okay, so if wire is connected and they are asking the current flowing through this wire. What is the current flowing through this wire? If they give the wire, then what we have to do means, either connected wire na idhar ka potential, here ka potential is same. That means the potential at the A equal to the potential at the B. Both are at the same potential. Why? Because both are connected by the wire. Both are at the same potential. Now just this wire bring here, just combine this one. Okay, I am combining. It is forming one junction here. 3 ohm, 6 ohm. 6 ohm, 3 ohm, 6 ohm, 3 ohm. Okay, just both are at the same potential. Just connect it. We will get this one. So now these two ends are at the same potential. These two ends are at the same potential. These are the same potential. So now these two resistors are parallel. These two resistors are parallel. 3 ohm by 6 ohm. Parallel combination will give the 2 ohm. And parallel combination of 6 ohm plus 3 ohm. Resultant resistance of these two parallel combination resistors is the 2 ohm. Then equivalent resistance we will get the 4 ohm. 2 plus 2 4 ohm. And supply voltage they given 36 volt, current equal to how much? Voltage per resistance 36 by 4, 9 amperes we will get. That means in the circuit how much current is flowing through the circuit? 9 amperes. See now, from the circuit 9 amperes current is flowing through. Okay, how much current is flowing through this resistor, this resistor, this resistor? This we have to find. This is the 6 ohm resistor. The current flowing through this one is current division rule. If if the resistors are parallel, then use the current division rules. If the resistors are series, use the voltage divider rule. I said already. So now current equal to the opposite branch ka resistance 3 by total resistance 6 plus 3 9 into current, total current 9. Okay, 9 cancel, we will get the 3 amperes. From this, how much current is flowing through? 3 amperes current is flowing through this branch, this resistor. And how much current is flowing through this one? So now current equal to the opposite branch ka resistance 6, total resistance 6 plus 3 9 into total current 9. Okay, 9 will be cancelled, 6. Okay, here 6 amperes current is flowing through this resistor, 6 ampere, through resistors 3 ampere, total combining here 9 amperes we are getting again. So what is the current flowing through this one? We have to find I equal to the opposite branch ka resistance 3 ohm by total resistance 6 plus 3 9 into total current is 9 only entering na 9. So 9 and 8 cancel, here we are getting the 3 amperes, total 9 amperes entering na. 3 ampere here means here 6 amperes only we can take directly, 6 amperes. Okay, so like this currents are going. Same thing I am going to draw here. Total current flowing through the circuit is the 9 ampere. This 3 ohm resistor how much? 6 amperes flowing through. This 6 ohm resistors 3 amperes, and this 6 ohm resistor say 3 amperes, and this 3 ohm resistor say 6 amperes. Now see here 6 amperes entering this 3 ohm at this junction. Now here only 3 ohms is going through 6 ohm, remaining 3 ohms are going through this one. Okay, at this point we have to apply the KCL. Okay, entering current equal to the leaving current, 6 amperes entering, but here it is 3 amperes only we are getting. Through this one how much is going? 3 amperes. Here also we can say, so from here 3 amperes coming, here 3 ampere coming, and here we are getting the 6 ampere, right? Barabar. Okay, so the current flowing through the AB wire equal to how much? 3 amperes. Like this you have to do the problem, 3 amperes. Okay, na? See the next concept, galvanometer to ammeter. Already you know how to convert the galvanometer to ammeter. So when we convert the galvanometer to ammeter means if the current flowing through the galvanometer exceeds, okay, then it will be damaged. So to protect this one, we will connect one resistor which has the low resistance parallel to the galvanometer. Okay, then how much this will accept, that much current will flow through galvanometer, remaining will flow through this resistor, and the circuit will, the device will be safe, protected. Okay, now here the potential difference across this galvanometer and potential difference across this small resistance is same. Now Ig into G equal to the current flowing through this one is I minus Ig into S. From this we can find the what is the resistance we shunted. That means for small resistance we are connecting parallel to this galvanometer, that is called parallel resistance is nothing but the shunted resistance. How much resistance we have to shunt means S equal to Ig by I minus Ig into SG. Okay, next the ammeter, this is total setup is nothing but the working as a ammeter, the resistance of the ammeter. So galvanometer ka resistance and this small resistor both are parallel to each other. The ammeter resistance is G into S by G plus S. One more point you have to remember, the ammeter resistance is less than the galvanometer resistance and less than this shunted resistance also, and ideal ammeter ka resistance equal to the 0. Remember that point also. Next come to see the galvanometer to the voltmeter. If the potential drop across the galvanometer exceeds, then we will connect the one resistor series to this galvanometer to share some voltage to this one. Okay, na? So now this resistance is the high resistance. In the ammeter the shunted resistance is the low resistance, here the series resistance is the high resistance. So then the voltage will be shared between the galvanometer and this resistance. Okay, so now current, both are connected in the series, so current flowing through this one is the same. So the potential difference across these two is V equal to the Ig into G. G is nothing but the resistance of the galvanometer plus Ig into S. S is the series resistance. Now how much resistance we have to connect? series to protect this galvanometer means S equal to V by Ig minus G. Remember this formula. And here the galvanometer and resistors are connected in the series. This setup is working as a voltmeter. The resistance of the voltmeter is G plus S, connected in the series na G plus S. The voltmeter resistance is greater than the galvanometer and greater than this I resistance. And next the ideal voltmeter ka resistance is infinity. Remember, based on this concept I am giving one problem here. A galvanometer or resistance 100 ohm, galvanometer ka resistance is 100 ohm, that means G equal to the 100 ohm. So full scale deflection for 10 milliampere. So here full scale deflection is nothing but the Ig only. Okay, galvanometer, current flowing through the galvanometer. Okay, the reading of the galvanometer is nothing but full scale deflection. Ig is the 10 milliampere. What should be the shunt required? Shunt resistance we have to find so that it can measure the 100 milliamperes. So current is flowing through that one is the 100 milliamperes. No need to draw the diagram again and again. So shunt they are asking now, then formula is S equal to Ig by I minus Ig into G. So here S equal to Ig by I minus Ig into G. Substitute Ig value is a 10 milliamperes. Both are in the same unit and not to check that one. Milliamperes. Okay, substitute. So 10 by 100 minus 10 into G value is 100. Simplify it. You will get the, we have to connect the resistor, we have to connect the shunt resistance is 11.11 ohm. Okay, B option is the right answer. See the next concept, potentiometer. So here in the potentiometer we will use the 6 to 10 meter length wire. We have the meter bridge also. In the meter bridge we will use the 1 meter length wire. Here we will use the 6 to 10 meters length wire we will take. If you know this one applications, then apply to the meter bridge also, very small one that is. Okay, in the meter bridge just it is voltage is directly proportional to the length of the wire. Same principle we will use here also. Okay, see now by using the potentiometer we can compare the EMF of the two cells. We can find the internal resistance of the cell and we can compare the resistance of the resistances. Okay, now all this we can do by using the potentiometer. Okay, first one see now potentiometer mein this is the rheostat, variable resistor. The function of this rheostat is it will that means the rheostat adjusts the potential difference across the wire. This is the supply we are giving. Rheostat A to B is the length of the wire. Instead of giving the like this, I have drawn only one wire, A to B wire, and the next A to B is a wire. So the potential difference across this wire is adjusted by the rheostat. Suppose if the rheostat is minimum, then potential difference across the wire is the maximum. If rheostat is increasing, then potential difference across the wire decreases. So adjusting the rheostat, we can measure the potential difference across the wire. So now by using the potentiometer we are going to compare the EMF of the two cells. Okay, here two cells I am taking. Okay, now so here in this case what I am going to do, one cell after one cell I am connecting, one by one cell I am connecting. Okay, so take care about this one. First one, so we have to connect the cells and we have to move the jockey on this wire up to get the null deflection. Okay, suppose we are moving, if you are not getting the null deflection means here two things you have to remember. Either whatever the cells we are taking, these have the more EMF than this one, then we should not get the zero deflection. Second point is remember the polarities. Here this is the high polarity, that means high potential, then these two cells also at the high potential only. Okay, then only we will get the zero deflection. If you are not getting zero deflection means here polarities are in the reverse direction, otherwise this EMF of the cells is more than the supplying cell. Okay, now so you have to take care, the cells ka EMF is less than this one and the polarities of this will be coincide with this one, same side, same polarities, same side we have to keep. Now I am going to compare the EMF of these two cells. Okay, suppose here I am assuming EMF of E1 is greater than the E2, suppose. Okay, now so then if E1, just I am closing, here we have the two switches. If I close this up switch, then E1 will be function, and if I close this switch, E2 will be function. At a time I am closing only one key or one switch. Suppose first case I am closing the E1 switch, then current is flowing through this one and this jockey move on this wire and it will get the come to the null deflection at some point. Here we are getting, so from A to B the length of the wire is the L1. At L1 length we are getting the null deflection, then this potential, this EMF is directly proportional to that length. So EMF is directly proportional to that length. E1 is directly proportional to the L1. And the next, off this one and on this key. If we on this one, then current will flow through this one and move this jockey. It will come to the, at some point it will show the null deflection. That length we have to measure from the high potential to low potential side. That means A to this side. So A to J is nothing but the L2. For E2 is directly proportional to the L2. E2 is directly proportional to the L2. Do the ratio, we will get the E1 by E2 equal to L1 by L2 individually there. Okay, now remember that one. Suppose we are using the cells together. Okay, we are using the cells together. So this upper setter I am not drawing here. Imagine that upper setter. Okay, same thing, everything. So down over here I connected the one cell after one more cell in the first case. Second case mein I am connecting the two cells at a time. If I connect the two cells at a time, that means plus minus in the series. Okay, then total EMF of these two cells is the E1 plus E2. When these two cells are combinedly connected, then measure the zero deflection, okay, null deflection on the circuit. So then E1 plus E2 is directly proportional to some, at L length it will be shown deflection. Next, what I am doing here, E1 I consider is EMF is more and E2 is less, then we have to change the polarities of the cell, only small EMF, which are the small EMF, that one. So here I kept the plus minus, here I am changing the polarity. This E1 is the plus minus only, but E2 ka polarities I am changing. We have to reverse the polarities which has the less EMF, so minus plus. Then here compare with here EMF is decreasing, so EMF is decreasing, E1 minus E2. Then something it is showing the length from A to L2. Okay, so EMF is more, then length is the more, then EMF decreased, the length also decreased. E1 plus E2 is directly proportional to L1, E1 minus E2 directly proportional to the L2. So by using this we can find the E1 by E2 equal to the L1 plus L2 by L1 minus L2. E1 is the more, E1 is the less. More is more side more, that means L1 plus L2. Less side less, L1 minus L2. So you remember like this, you can do it very easily. That means to find the EMF of two cells, compare the EMF of two cells, we have the two cases, one by one or together. Okay, next come to see find the internal resistance of the cell. To find the internal resistance also we will use a potentiometer. Suppose see now here also one thing you have to remember, we should connect the key to the series to the external resistance. We have to connect the key to the series to the external resistance only. Remember that point. And the next, first case may we are not don't on this switch. Okay, that means keep this switch in the off mode. If it is off, then current will flow through this one only like this, and we will get the some deflection L1 deflection we will get. So here the potential equal to the some EMF is nothing but E is directly proportional to the L1 I am getting. Next, what I am going to do on the switch, if I on the switch, this battery will be discharged through the external resistance R. Then potential decreases. So potential decreases how much means E minus IR. So E minus IR is directly proportional to the, now again move the jockey on this wire, it will come to the null deflection at some point. So L2, that means compare with the initial, now length will be decreases. Why? Because some potential is dropping through the or discharging through the R resistance. Okay, so E minus IR is directly proportional to the L2. L1 is more, L2 is the less. Remember that point also. And you know already formula to find the current I equal to E by R plus R. So remember this formula, from these conditions we will get finally this formula, derivation only, remember the formula. R equal to capital R into L1 by L2 minus 1. R is the internal resistance of the cell, capital R is the external resistance, L1 is the without external resistance. That means suppose here the external resistance equal to the infinity. Sometimes in the questions they will give, if the external resistance is the infinity, then whatever the null deflection we are getting, that is the length L1. And L2 means we are connecting the resistance. Okay, now we are connecting the resistance, that time how much we are getting the null deflection point, that length L2. So L1 is the without resistance connected, L2 is the after connecting the resistance, and R is the external resistance, small r is the internal resistance. Remember all this. Okay, this is the very important. Next one is the comparing the two resistors R1 and R2. Okay, first total setup same thing. So first connect the only first resistor to the galvanometer. If I connect the galvanometer R1, so I current is flowing through this one, so the potential across this one is directly proportional to something length is showing L1. Next, what we have to do, connect this 2 to this one. Okay, now connect. Second case may connect to the total. Then what will happen, current is flowing through these two resistors connected in the series, I into R1 plus R2. So then length will be more. Why? Because potential difference also increasing. So somewhere it will show the deflection. Okay, na? So now I into R1 plus R2 proportional to the L2. So now from this we can get the R1 by R1 plus R2 equal to L1 by L2. Ratio we have to do. By doing this one, we can compare the resistors also. These are the 4 you have to remember. The question is, in the potentiometer circuit shown in the figure, this is the circuit they shown, balance length AJ equal to the 60 centimeter when switch S is open. When switch S is closed and the value of R is 5 ohm, the balance length is AJ dash equal to the 50 centimeter. The internal resistance of the cell is. So internal resistance of the cell. So we have to remember this formula, R equal to capital R into L1 by L2 minus 1. Okay, so R value already given 5 ohms. L1 is nothing but the without connecting the resistance. That means if the switch is open, then what is the length it is showing? So if the switch is open, then length equal to 60 centimeter L1. If switch is closed, how much length it is showing? That is the 50 centimeters. So L2 equal to 50 centimeters. Now substitute here. R value also they given 5 ohms. So R value is 5 ohm. Substitute in the formula, we will get simplified. We will get the R value is 1 ohm. The internal resistance is the 1 ohm. Okay, concentrate here. Bridge meter bridge also same formulas, same concept too, but that is very small only. I explained, that's why potentiometer. Practice the problems seriously. Thank you.